We are going to I'm just going to start another lecture series of the introduction to the Python programming. It's a very basic programming lecture series which you can join and learn the Python programming from very scratch, right? This is Mohammad Hussain Bora, assistant professor in Dabstra, Devang Patel, associate with Charusat University. Charusat University is the one of the best and top university in the Gujarat, near to Anand. So, and we are having the Dabstar Technological Institutes. We offer the computer science, IT, and computer science engineering branches here. So we also teach this programming subject in the very beginning of the engineering, right? So this will be help you for the understand the Python programming. So let's see and discuss how we are going to be continue this Python programming lecture series. And I'm sure that you will be having a great experience after looking all this. Let's first meet the creator of the Python programming language is what Gudo and Rosam. I hope you are, if you are very beginner, so might be you are not aware about who is the persons and how he contributed to design another most popular programming language, right? So I can say this is a worldwide the third most important programming language, right? The peoples are very peoples are using that programming language and then moving to the what Python programming language. So I have just given the one YouTube link so you can go through that lectures. That's a small introductions about what from the Gudo and Rosam. So how we just come across this Python programming language and and how it's helping the community, programming community. How we are going to be cover this complete course content. So I just put it down the list of the contents, right? We will start with the very basic, the small introductions, that is the what first lectures which you are listening now, and then one by one we are going to be cover all the parts one by one. So displaying text, string variables, storing numbers, working with data, date and types, making decision, right? If else conditions, like in other programming languages, complex decision of code. So these all are the small component, the content of the what our codes. After this, repeating events until done, remembering list. So they are the Python offer the few data structures, right? Or data types, you can say. How to store the files, read the files, the functions, exception handling. So these all are the components, content of this course we are going to be see throughout. So be with me, one by one we are going to be finished with the exercise, and you are having the great experience, and I hope you will learn that all the programming, basic programming with a very good idea. This is the what expectations with this course. So what can be the target audience, right? The peoples, those are new in a programming, they can also start with the Python. So once you start the Python programming, then you will not allow to yourselves to learn any other programming languages. So that's why because the Python is very easy, the syntax, the programming, the features of the Pythons are very strong, the less programming and much outputs, that kind of. So those are very new, they are also welcome. The students at any of the levels, maybe in engineering students, any other branch students, the career changers. Suppose somebody want to, suppose these are Java developers, and now they want to be moved to the any other programming languages like Python, from .NET to the Python. So any of the developers, those are want to be change their role in the industry. Any IT professionals, anyone with interested in the learning of the code, so you can join. So I will fulfill your expectation with this course, and we will have a very from very basic we will start, and we will reach to the what all the programming fundamentals. So for that very first step, you can install, you can start your work with the Python ideally. That's the integrated developing learning environment. from the Python. You can install any latest version of the what Python IDE you can use. So there are some Python PyCharm is there. The few communities are there. They offer the Python with open source, so that you can also use that IDE. So that is for basically for the project development. Jupyter notebooks are also again preferable by the developer community because it's give the very good representations, right? You can document your works, so the people use that Jupyter notebook, the the interface with the browser connectivity. Anaconda is another platform, I can say, the package distributors, so where you don't need to be worried about the packages what you needed in the Python. So at very basic level, the Python is Python, only the Python is sufficient. You don't need packages because it's having all the capabilities there. Once you are moving to the once you are applying that Python programming to any of the other area like machine learning, maybe the big data, the cloud computing, right? So then you need what uh, packages, the libraries. So then the Anaconda will be what efficient for you, right? So Anaconda also gives the different ID as well as, so the Jupyter is also there inside Anaconda like that. So these all are the what different platform you can use. So first of all, join the Python community, right? That community will help you to learn that programming language. It's very open, and you want to growth your Python programming. You want to share your coding. You want to get the experience. If you want to solve the other problems, so definitely you should be aim to join some Python communities. So there are list of the few Python communities. You can go through the links one by one and check it out. What is the problems, what the people suggested, how you can optimize your code, and there is a vast experience you can gain from the what this open source community, right? So that is very important for any of the programmers to join that open source community and contribute your programming to the world, right? Let's start why we are learning and how, right? So first of all, why? This is very important. The lot of programming languages are there out there, right? So, and why now the new programming language as a Python, and how you can learn, right? So how you can learn? So this is the one way which I'm offering to you, that you just follow all the lectures, and it's very compact series, so not very much lengthy. You will have a programming experience with the all suggestions, and few exercise will I also put into inside, so that will help you to what think creatively and solve that problems, right? Design your own algorithm. But why? The thing is what why? So I think let's move to the next slide. So where you will having what why we are learning the Python. This is also very important. Why learn to code? Understands the computer science branch is, and computer science IT, any of the branches if we talk about, right? And you are having the good like ability to design the code, to think, maybe the problem solving skill you have, right? So definitely that branch is for you. And if you are very clear about to design the logic by yourself, so then you can start the what coding. Otherwise coding will irritate the people. The programming is a very powerful tool you can use to solve all kinds of problems, right? You have to just decide what is the flow of my algorithm. So basically the problem solving is what in programming, that is what algorithm. So you identify the problem, how the problem will be addressed, what is the solutions, how the solutions will become. So all kind of problems can be solved, right, by the programming. That is, what do you want to do, right? That questions you have to be raised. What do you want to be do? Whether you want to be become a good programmer, whether you want to be become some management skill, you want to go into the management part, whether you are very much good in the hardware component, the handling the situations kind of. So then you can decide. So then you can decide your own aim, right? Why I want to be learn the code, why I want to become a programmer. So build a phone app to help your friend find directions. So they are, in nowadays we are using the smartphones, right? Where everything we are searching on the Google. So as you can see, the all the different types of applications which is available on different platforms. So they are give you a user interface, but as a backend they are having lots of programming which they implemented, and they solve our problems, right? So if you are aim that I have that mobile phone and I'm using some of the my applications, and you are very interested and you want to make your career to design such type of applications, so then definitely, so programming that you need it. Suppose I want to be calculate how much money you need to buy a car, so then also you can write the program. You can write a program for that as well. As I want to buy, so you have to decide what is the input, what is the output, and how that will be calculated. Then you can frame the programming. See what people are saying about your business on social media, so for that also you can start the program a wearable device. It tweets you when you should reapply the sunscreens. So there are a lot of applications out there which we are using, and for any of the another problem which you want to be addressed, and you want that should be social enough to all the human community they can use, so they can make another set of the programs, and you can make it usable for others. So thing is what, why the Python, right? Why Python? So there are a lot of different programming languages out there. Why Python, right? Python is one of the easiest and easier one of to learn. Very simple syntax. You don't need to be remember a lot of things into it. The inbuilt functions, inbuilt libraries are there. You have to club all these things, formulate the problems, and what it will give the solution. So compared to other programming languages, it is most easiest programming language I can say. There are lots of free tools out there you can use to code or learn Python. There are a lot of different ways to use the Python code as well. As this is third most used programming languages according to GitHub in 2019. So understand the GitHub is the one of the most open source community platform where the people are share their programmings, right? If you gone through the survey, so which programming languages are peoples are sharing with others, so that according to that, this is the third most used programming languages by the world in the worldwide, right? And another the buzzword in the market, that is what the machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, right? So for implementing such type of technologies, so Python is another powerful and emerging programming languages for you. So if you want to start your career in data science, data analytics, you can go with Python as well. As if you want to become a machine learning developer, AI developer, like that, so you can start learn the Python. So Python is very basic for that, and then you can start. They can use the inbuilt libraries for that particular domain, and then you can start the what building the models. So I think for all such questions, maybe you can start what with the Python. Why you are learning Python? Maybe you can set them, right? Once you learn how to code in one programming language, it will be very easier, right? So that is, if you are familiar, suppose if you are familiar with C programming languages, so you know the syntax, the flow of the programming, the method, print statement, functions, right? And suppose in C++, how to build the classes, in Java, these object-oriented programming languages. So if you are know with familiar with all such means any other programming languages also, so it is very easy to just dirty your hands into any other programming languages, because it is not very much difficult for you, right? So if you know one programming syntax wise, so it is very similar for other programming languages also. So now it's not that the Python is very new for you. If you know C sharp, suppose JavaScript, C++, Perl. So now next is what? So maybe you can add another programming language into your library. That is what the Python. So if you have some of the experience, so also it is good for you to interpret that programming, understand the syntax very easily, right? Not a very big task. Does anyone really use Python? Suppose you are very new to Python and somebody just told you that you just learn the Python, so it will be help you in industry and you will have a good package in the industry and like that. So first of all, you must be aware about what is the scope of the Python in industry, why people are using, and if you learn the Python programming languages, then what are the different doors which is open for you. So right, really it's really what meaningful for you first to get understand. And is there anybody really using? So yeah, so Industry Light and Magic use the Python to help with image processing and lighting special effect. So this is one example. So I'm giving you the broad view, broad examples where the Python is more significant, more emerging, more challenging, right? And people are making challenging applications out there, and which is really more helpful. DevNet uses the Python to aggregate news feeds. Right, you can search individually. I'm just giving you a few examples so that you will be motivated why I'm learning the Python. Forecastwatch.com uses Python to help with weather forecast. Right, so that is the another. The student in England made a desktop, right, and they use what, the Python and Raspberry. So you can understand your own desktop they are building. Suppose you are using the Windows and any other open source operating system, so you know how to build that desktop. So how all the functionalities will be embedded into what your system. So there is one another work which is done by student, which is what really useful. And so you can also make such type of things, right? Whatever idea you have. So how do I get started? Right. So I started with the two questions: why to learn Python, and how. So why we are learning the Python, right? So there is a very simple things for the learning point of view. That is what, that you want to become a developer, you want to become a data scientist, data analytics, you want to become your career in AI, machine learning related, or maybe any other fields related. So if you just check it out whether the Python will help you for implementing that concept, so definitely yes. So then Python, then you can choose the Python programming languages. So that is my aim, right? That you decided. So now the question is what, how do you get started with the Python? So there are a lot of tools are available, as I told you. We can start with the Python IDE, ideally, right? Anaconda, Jupyter, these all are the open source, right? So you can use all such integrated environment. So here I'm listing you. The PyCharm is another open source community, right? So from there you can get that IDE, right? Having Python simple ideally, as well as this is come with the word Python GUI versions. Initially it's only the command line, so you have to be execute your programming in the command line. So now you can have a what integrated development environment as well as the GUI interface. Spiders, from the spider also, that these spiders come with the what, Anaconda, another IDE, right? You can use for developing the Python code. Anaconda is just the package distributor, right? The open source, all these are the open source. So if you want, if you are good with the command line as well as, so you can use Visual Studio and Sublime Text as well as to write the programs into it and just compile and interpret the program into the what, command line. So then you can start with any of the tools, any of the open source tools, right? So you just check it out, you can install into your system or maybe in a laptop, and then you can start your programming. So then this is the way of you can start, right? Nothing. So if you want to check whether your program is installed correctly or not, so So simply is what, whenever I start anything, so in any of the programming, suppose I've just built, I just installed my softwares and I want that my programming language is working or not. So very traditionally what we write the what hello world program. So you can change it over here. That's the hello Python as well as right hello Python programming. So that's another new way for implementing your very first program. So just test your Python right with writing that hello world program. So you will get whether your Python interpreter is working properly. Why I'm saying interpreter? So because Python is an interpreter language. A line by line code will be what get executed and it will generate the what output. So the Python is kind of interpreter language, right? So first install it. If you want to check it out, just write a simple hello world program, execute the program and then check the output. So automatically you will get the idea whether your Python is working or not. Let's see the very first demo of the hello world program. So how we can create that particular hello world program, where I'm going to write that program, and after the execution how will you execute it, after the execution what is the output, right? So if you know with if you're familiar with C and C++ and other programming languages also, so now here is all very simple. The very less code you can test your programming and you can go through it. Now you just create the first program. So now see here there is no main class, there is no any include import kind of things right there right now. So this is very first. So just I want that my Python interpreter is working. So what I have to do, just there is one print statement. So print function, print is a function. Similar like in a C and C++, in C++ we are having C in C out, in C we are having printf, scanf, and println in the what Java. So these are similar as a syntax. So again, C and other programming languages are the parent language for the Python, you can say. So print functions, you are just putting the arguments into the single quote, maybe double quote, maybe triple quote. We will see that difference into the next lectures, right? Where we are going to be see the demo of the print statement, right? Not printf. So here is the print, and the version wise there is a quite difference. If you are using 2.x version, so the print without the parenthesis, but uh, in a 3 and 3 version 3.x, so they always use the print functions with the what parenthesis, so don't forget about it, otherwise you will get the what syntax error. So right, this is one line, right? The first application having only one line of code, you can understand. In other programming languages we have to put the few line of the code, otherwise it will not be get compiled. So the one line only, one application having one line, we are just going to test whether my program is working or not, whether my Python is get installed into your system or your IDE is perfectly responding to you. So just test it, this particular program, just one line of code. So how you can test, you have to suppose you put anywhere, maybe if you are using Sublime Text, and then save this program by the what .py file. Then there is a Python interpreter, or if you are working with a command line, after saving that program into somewhere into the directory, then go to the word command line, and inside a command line use Python space, suppose I save this file, that applications, by sample.py, then run the sample.py and then just enter it. So you will get the output. If you are using Python interpreter in GUI mode, ideally, so there is one script will be there. Into the script you can open the new script, put that line, just save it, and run the particular file, or you can have a shortcut as a F5. It will execute into the what interpreter. So it will start the executions and you can see the what result. So there are all two ways you can use, right? Suppose in a command line you will get such type of what output after the executing the particular line of code, right? So it will print the what hello world. So for any of the explanations related to the any functions, any attributes, any value, data types, whatever you are using, right? So you can always use the what help. So how you can use it, suppose I want to know about the print functions in a details. what type of input it will take, what is the mandatory inputs, what are not included, what is the default behavior of the functions, and how it will be respond to you. So then always you can get help from it. So they're having the very good documentations from the python.org, and they will give you the what great explanations for understanding in detail. So you can see here the just print help with print. So inside a help, pass the print functions, right? Just print, name it. So now it will give you the what will display the whole information about the what print function. So as you can see here, the print functions will having the file and flush. So these all are the what different options. So that is the thing is what you are just want to print some values. So that value is what mandatory over here. The rest of the arguments are not mandatory. We will see in the print functions in the second lecture. So which is what the print in other programming languages. In the Java we are having println, so their new line is there. In the printf function in the C programming there is no new line, so you have to put the new line. So here also we can have a new line inbuilt with the print functions in Python. As you can see here, and equals to /n. So that argument is default inside what print. We are just passing the values. The rest of the argument will be called with the default value as it is. You don't need to be put new line into the what your print function. It will automatically, your cursor will go to the what new line. We will see more details later on. So I want to tell you about the best practice for the programming. So how you can write the good programs, right? Basically it's very important. You must follow some naming conventions as which is what more recommended in a developer community, because for understanding your code, which will be make easy, right? So as we know how to give the identifier name, suppose we later on we will use the class, maybe we'll create the what uh, objects for that particular classes. Suppose I want to define some constant, right? I want to make some packages inside, I want to make my own module inside. So right, for every, so suppose I want to define the functions, I want to define the class. So for all this there are some predefined what rules are there. So use that best practices to design your clean code. And another things which is what very important, sometimes we never use it. So you can do your code with proper documentation. So there is what comments. So that is the good habit to put the comments, right? So with this you can make anybody else to get understood your code, what you are writing, what is your what is the role of that identifier, what is the role of that variables, the objects, class, the functions, right? It will give very clear understanding to others, and your code will look like very useful. So any of the if you design today and later on you want to be see what I have done, and you want to get another recap for your own programming, so you can easily understood, right? So it will help you to understood better look and proper explanations. So you can do the documentation, so with the your programming, so that we call as a what agile. So in Python we used what hash. So automatically the color will be get changed. So you will use in your programming anywhere, you will use your, whether you use in Jupyter and Python IDE ideally, so it will be automatically change the color so you can understand. So these all are the what the commented one, which is not be what interpreted by the compiler Python IDE. Then only the line which is get interpreted, which is not be uncommented. That's it. So that first three line is what a simple comment line where we are making one application. What is the role of that application, which is clearly defined over here, which is give you the what proper documentations, right? So from the hash you can perform the what comments. So you can notice here the colors will be changed. The text which are the colored, which are the they are the commented, so right. So that's why the so it will that IDE having that kind of capability, the GUI they can have. You can change the color as well as whatever color you want. So it will give you the proper visualizations, right, for understanding. And so any of the other reviewer also completely understood all such lines are commented and other lines are what get executed. So this is very good, right, for the programming. So finally, now with this, let me congratulate to you. We started another lecture series, right? Whether you are participating, and from the very scratch, we are going to be see the Python programming language. And now, if you are very beginners and don't have any programming experience, also, so now I can congratulate to you that you are now become a coder. And with this we will learn all this 14 lectures one by one, and you will have what a great experience.